Welcome to episode 31 of 5 Random Airports and Airfields. This week we're going to take a journey to Korea and we're going to take a look at some airports and airstrips that existed during the Korean War. This will take us back in time to 1950 to 53. Some of these airfields and airports still exist, some do not. So let's just jump right in and see what we can see. First up, we're going to be going to Daejeon Air Base. This particular base operated between 1940 to 1980, and it is all gone. There is no trace of this particular air base left, and this is what you see now. It is all urban growth. And from what I could tell, the airbase existed right here in this area. I was trying to find pictures of Daejeon online, but all I could find was Osan. This would have been Daejeon Airfield, or airbase. And the one picture that I was able to verify was you have the bridge there, come down this road, and that would have been the actual airbase. Probably going, your runways probably would have been there. There was also another picture of one that had a runway that actually ran along the river, but I think that was Osan. But I'm in the general vicinity, and this was Daejeon. This was also known as K5. This all I have are the geo coordinates for this location, and I will make sure to post them so you can go check this area out for yourself if you like. It would be interesting to take this area back to what it looked like back then with a scenery package, but I couldn't find anything. So that's going to be the first one. We're going to just keep this moving. I am going to change things around a bit. We're not going to fly with every airport. I think from now on what we're going to do is just tour each and every location, and then on the last one maybe I'll do a short flight. I really thought I was going to find something that would be reminiscent of an old airfield airbase, but it just looks like it's totally gone. Even on Google Earth, it's gone. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump on to the next one. Next up is going to be Altaru Airfield. And what I found on this one, what was really kind of interesting about this particular location, and of course it doesn't look like it's used at all anymore for aircraft, but this base, or yeah, and I use the word base loosely here, but this one was actually built by the Japanese. And the base was in operation from 1930 all the way to 1963. And they also, the IACO code for this is RKGI, which I thought was really interesting that Flight Simulator still recognizes it as an airfield. So this was a refuel operator. This was originally built by the Japanese. It was used to train kamikaze pilots during the war, during World War II, and then during the Korean War, the U.S. used it for refueling purposes. So I would think that it had to have had a runway at some point, but you can clearly see that there was something here. But it's long since gone. it was, yeah, I think operation was 1930 to 1963. Its other designation was K40. So it's a fast. So as you look up that direction, look to the north. See, we're actually on the southern, most would be probably the most southern point, except for that island right there. Jushu International is right over that way, and there's another runway over there on this island. So I'll give you a better idea where we're at. We're on that island. I found the Korean scenery is it's okay. I mean, I guess it's as good as it's going to get in Flight Simulator as far as what Bing Maps provides. But that is going to be it for Altaru Airfield. And it's quite an interesting location. Next up is going to be Yonpo. This particular airfield or airport is Zebra King Henry Union, and it is also known as K-27. This particular airstrip was built in the 40s, and it was built by the Japanese during World War II, and then was later used by the Americans in the Korean War conflict, as well as the KPAF. Um, I don't know why I thought this one was going to be abandoned, but all of these do show up in Flight Simulator, which is the locations show up, like the K designations, which totally surprised me. But you can definitely tell this was some sort of military operating base at some point. And it has two runways, one 2,658-foot runway and another one that is 2,942 feet. And it is all asphalt. So I would guess that these buildings in real life probably resemble that of early, or not early, World War II style up into the Korean War conflict era buildings. Like your towers, your watchtowers, and whatnot. But it's a simple. I think out of all the ones I'm looking at today, I like this one the best. I really like the surrounding terrain and the remoteness of this particular airfield, or would be airbase. Actually, yeah, there's your parking spots. Looks like could have been parking spots or bunkers, hardened hangars, and where other structures once stood. There's that bus. You can catch a Greyhound from there. So interesting. But like I said, the area is just really interesting to me for some reason. But all right, well, that's gonna do it for Yanpo. Let's go ahead and see what's next. Next up is going to be Suwon Airfield. This will be the other designation is K13. This particular So the IACO code for this one is going to be RKSW, Robert King Sam William. And the other designation for this particular airfield is K13. That was the designation given to it during the Korean War. Uh, what I read about this was that the airfield was abandoned by the United States during the war when the KPAF mounted an attack against the airfield. They subsequently took the airfield, and then later, in another battle, most of the buildings and structures were all but destroyed. When the U.S. was using this airbase, they were flying F 86s out of it, along with several other squadrons. When the KPF were using it, they were flying their aircraft out of it. But it does have a definite military look to it, with all the established parking areas and whatnot. I did not go look for pictures of this particular airport to see if what it looks like now or what it looked like then. Like here, you can see the hardened hangars. Where there were structures, there still are structures. Now, Flight Simulator lists it has it as 3 runways, one of which is 8,966 feet, the other is 8,960, and the third is 8,743. And from what I read, this was deactivated in or around 1970. So that is going to be Suwon. My knowledge is only as limited as the internet's knowledge, so there wasn't a whole lot about this particular airfield. I couldn't find anything on when it was built. But there you have it. That would be Suwon Airfield. And last up is going to be Robert King Sam Sam. This is going to be Gimpo, or otherwise known as Kimpo. And the other designation for this is K14. This particular air base saw quite a bit of activity during the Korean War and was actually built in 1939 by the Japanese during World War II. Gimpo is a major operation now and covers quite a bit of real estate. It has two runways, one 11,797 foot runway, the other being 10,476. Can you imagine what this must have been like during the Korean conflict? And this is all default aircraft. I'm sorry, default buildings, default layout. I could find nothing for Korea on flightsim.to. It's possible I just wasn't looking for the right thing, but all in all, it's a pretty decent airport. Alright, well, we are down to the last one. And we're going to go for a short little flight here. Come back and land. Looks like I'm holding up traffic. Alright, hey, for you guys that made this airplane, if you're seeing this, I saw this on Facebook the other night on one of the forums. Somebody posted a picture, but your altitude gauge is missing a number. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 9. You're missing 8 there, guys. I still like this airplane. I decided to change the format like I was saying earlier. Rather than doing a flight with each one, I figured we'd just do one flight with one of the runways for future videos rather than dragging the video out for 35-40 minutes. I thought this would be a lot better. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode. I kind of felt like getting back into this looking for abandoned stuff. I know I was really surprised to see that most of these had an IACO code associated with them in Flight Simulator. And it is the K designations, and it is entirely possible that I downloaded something a long time ago that made those particular airports show up, but I don't know. So you should be able to get to them. I will provide the coordinates for Tejon, and then IACO codes for the rest of them. But this has been fun. So next week we'll make episode 32, and I think next week we're going to go to the Oregon coast. I found an individual on flightsim.to that is doing some really good scenery for Oregon coast airports, and we'll tour those next week. If anybody has any ideas where to look for some of these abandoned airfields, bases, and whatnot, drop it in the comment and let me know, and I'll try to include it in a future video. All right. Well, hey, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.